What is going on, everybody? It is Big Game James here, Silver and Blue Nation. You know how we do, and I got a special interview, even though we already did it last year. I got my guy, Mr. Emery Hunt from Football Gameplan, the czar of the playbook, CBS Sports IQ, and also color commentator extraordinaire. Because I seen your commentary, you're very good on that mic. So I definitely appreciate Mr. Hunt jumping in. How you doing, Mr. Hunt?
I'm doing fine, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Hey, it's a good time. You know, we're going to talk some quick Cowboys because I know you go through the whole NFL with your breakdowns, but I'm asking you, let's talk some little bit of Cowboys football right now. So, without any further ado, I just want to get your kind of thoughts on the Cowboys as a whole. You know, what do you look at from the outside in, especially with Dak Prescott getting signed? Because we're going to really talk about the free agency right now. What would you give Dallas a grade if you could grade the Cowboys free agency from this point in the 2021 season?
Well, I just think signing Dak Prescott to a long-term deal already just gives the Cowboys an A. Takes that albatross away from the team and that cloud of will they sign Dak? How much should they sign Dak? I'm glad they got that done. So anything after that was all gravy, in my opinion.
Right. Now, do you think the Cowboys improved, not just with the Dak Prescott contract, but I mean the Cowboys free agent signings were okay in my opinion. They weren't anything great. Then they got Keanu Neal, DeMonte KZ, Brent Urban, Carlos Watkins, Tyler Basham. Do you think from just looking at that perspective, is it just like just something else like kind of blah?
Basham, KZ, and Neal are outstanding defensive players, in my opinion. I thought Terrell Basham had an outstanding opportunity to be what the Jets wanted as a pass rusher. Neal is a hard hitter, so you hope that he's healthy, number one. But KZ has outstanding ball skills and ball instinct. So all those interceptions you saw Cowboys defensive backs drop last year, that won't happen with KZ back there because he doesn't pass up opportunities to turn the ball over.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel a little better. I'm still suspect because I feel like the Cowboys still need to be help on that defensive front. I know you got DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory may be coming back for the first full season in his whole time that he's been with the Cowboys, but I still think even with Brent Urban and the Carlos Watkins, I feel like those are depth guys. Those are our guys that are role players. Those aren't guys that are difference makers. And when I look at the Cowboys middle, they still don't have any. Do you think that when I bring that up, can you be in agreement with that, or do you think that might be a little off?
Well, how many difference makers do you think are out there in free agency? That's the biggest question because if they were difference makers, they wouldn't be available. So I think in free agency you already are attacking depth concerns,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go find your quote unquote difference makers in the draft, and then you kind of build and develop from there. So you won't find too many, if any, true difference makers. In free agency, those guys don't get out of their home building. But you do find guys that can be good rotational pieces, good depth pieces that help you throughout the course of a 17 game season.
Okay. Now you say the draft, and we're gonna pigeon right to that. You say the draft, but how many guys, in your opinion, Emery, especially in the defensive line, it's hard for those guys in the defensive line, 21 years old, to come in and dominate. How many guys you really think that if they draft, they can come in and be an immediate impact? Because even when we saw last year with Brown and Jalen Kinlaw, I mean, they had their struggles. And this defensive tackle class is very deep, but there's not really a guy that's out there that's really jumping out the building. Just headed to the draft with the 10th pick with the Cowboys. If they stayed there, what would be a good pick for you if you saw the Cowboys at 10 and they stayed there?
I would say go cornerback. I still think they need guys that can go get the ball on the perimeter. I know Diggs had a couple of interceptions. I think he led the team in interceptions, but to me, those weren't the type of interceptions that give you confidence going into this season that he can find the football. I'm talking about guys like Patrick Surtain, talking about a guy like J.C. Horn, talking about a guy like Caleb Farley. Those are guys that have legit ball skills. And when you have ball skills out there on the perimeter and also ball instincts, it makes quarterbacks think twice about throwing your way. So I still believe they have to go corner with that 10th pick.
All right. So I heard you say about Diggs. So you don't think any of those interceptions that Diggs had was more of his playmaking ability? Because I've seen a couple where he was trailing the ball in the air. You don't think he's a playmaking type cornerback?
if he's trailing the ball in the air, that means he got beat. And a better throw would have put the ball out in front. So I just think that Diggs is a physical player, and I just think that in my opinion, they have an opportunity to upgrade on that side of the ball, especially in the secondary. If you can get a guy that can mirror and match and stay hip to hip with these wide receivers, and also play the ball at its highest point, underthrown, overthrown, that's the type of guy you want out there as a true lockdown player at the position.
Now, if you mentioned all three of those, Farley's just coming off the back injury. He's been fully cleared. Me personally, Cowboys love those injured players with talent. I'm kind of just steering away from that. But you did mention J.C. Horn. You did mention Surtain as well. From those three guys, if the Cowboys at the 10th pick, which one would you go over any of them?
It all depends. For me, I have a higher grade on Farley, I'm sorry, but I also have a pretty high grade on Surtain, and a fairly high grade as well on J.C. Horn. So I would even throw Asante Samuel Jr. out there also, so you can't go wrong with any one of those four. So to me, it all depends on what they want. Let's say they have a preference for Alabama players. Well, they get an opportunity because you're going to see probably a run on quarterbacks in the top 5. Then you're going to see a Kyle Pitts go somewhere within the 5 to 10 range, and maybe some offensive linemen. So Dallas could be sitting, in a catbird seat at pick number 10 with their picks and chooses of one of the 4, I believe, premier corners.
Okay. Now, you know what? You did mention Asante Samuel Jr. I had Mario Edwards actually on my show, and he helped recruit Asante Samuel Jr. to Florida State, and he had very, very high glowing marks for Asante Samuel Jr. Excuse me. I watched a lot of his tape. The one thing I love about him, just like his dad, aggressiveness, scrappy, just all up in your face. He's not going to let you go. He's just going. That's the type of players the Cowboys need. Now, you said Asante Samuel Jr. What round would you go for him, being that he's one of your top corners, even with the size measurables that may kind of go against him?
I would take him in the first round. To me, size is not a skill. And you look at someone, I believe, can play outside. So I have him as a field corner or boundary corner. I don't have him as a slot guy. Although people may look at his size and say, oh, he could play inside. Sure, he could play inside, but I think he has great cover skills to play outside. And the fact that he has the instincts, the technique, the ball skills, the playmaking ability, he's aggressive when coming up in run support. So all of those things sound like a number 1 or number 2 corner, in my opinion, someone that can hold their own on the perimeter.
I feel you. You know what I'm saying? But I know Dallas probably not going to do that. But if he does slip and fall, I hope they grab him later. If they went and got, let's say, a Diggs. I mean, I'm sorry, not a Diggs. Let's say if they got a Surtain or a Horn. If they could come around and get Asante Samuel Jr. as a second pick and have one of those guys, I would be very happy with that, because I feel like you need dogs. If you got a J.C. Horn and Asante Samuel Jr., then I will feel great, because then now you have 2 aggressive type corners that don't back down, that are going to go after you. And I feel like that's what Dallas needs in the back end of that secondary more than anything else. Now, there is the Kyle Pitts train. I believe you did mention him, and Jerry Jones threw it out there that he really likes him. And we saw last year with CeeDee Lamb how it just fell in their lap and you took the BPA. Would you, if the Cowboys are at 10 and Kyle Pitts is right there, and let's say you got a Surtain, you got a Horn, and you got a Pitts right there, what would you do?
As an offensive guy, it's hard to ignore the potential of the 3 wide receivers and the explosive tight end and the explosive tailback and the dynamic quarterback that's a dual threat. But man, I would have to pass, because you look
say that again, Emery.
You have to pass. You have to pass on it, because you have to understand. Think about what we just listed. You have CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper. You have
Michael Gallup.
And you have a Blake Jarwin that can get down the middle. Although he's not Kyle Pitts by no means stretch of the imagination,
right?
But you have a guy that's a receiving threat. That's 4 legit options in the passing game. Teams don't have 4 legit cover options. So if you have an opportunity to get legit cover options, like, it wouldn't surprise me to see Atlanta take a corner. Because you look at, they took AJ Terrell in the first round. Outstanding. It got better as the season went on. But you're going up against offenses now that have 2 number 1s at wide receiver. So why not stockpile that position? How people want to stockpile the receiver position. So as enticing as it would be to have a Kyle Pitts in that offense, and with those targets, you think, man, who would people try to cover or double? They won't be able to double. They will primarily play zone because those are man beaters that you have out there on the perimeter.
Right.
As enticing as all that is, I can't pass up the opportunity if I'm Dallas to take a number one corner.
You see, y'all heard this, right? Y'all heard this. We're going to post this because this is one of the few guys that said no. I know it's tantalizing, but we're going to have to go past that. Now, also, defensive tackle position, okay, in the draft. I know you go hard in it. What is a player that you think it can really fit the Cowboys in that scheme, even as a one tech or a combination of three and a one? What's a guy that you like as a defensive tackle that could really, you think, could help the Cowboys in the middle?
I think they just have to get pressure on the interior up the middle. So you look at guys that can get pressure. You look at someone like Davion Nixon out of Iowa, Levy Ozarike from Washington. Those two, I believe, are your pressure players at that position in this draft that you could probably get in the second round. And that's where I would go, because you want to get someone that can be able to be disruptive. If you want someone with some versatility, I'm a big fan of what Milton Williams out of Louisiana Tech brings to the table. He can play in or tackle, so you get a little bit of position flexibility. But I do think if you're going straight defensive tackle, on Wuzariki and also Nixon are the guys to target if you're Dallas.
Now, let me ask you this: there's a Tyler Shelvin out there. There's a Aleem McNeil who's getting high rates, and also Marvin Wilson. I kind of like all three of those, but I still would get another defensive tackle as well. What are your thoughts about any of those three guys I've mentioned?
Yeah, they're good nose tackles. I look at Shelvin and McNeil are my number 1 and 2. McNeil's number 1, Shelvin's number 2. But the difference with nose tackles and kind of why you don't want to take those guys high is the fact that you don't have them as pressure players. Unless you're a good nose tackle. That's what made someone like Haloti Ngata such a unique player, because he was your stout traditional nose tackle, but he was also athletic and also a pressure player. So you had to take him in the first round because he's big, athletic, and pressure, and can hold his own at the point of attack. If you don't have that, it's hard to draft that high, because again, it's about how can you affect the pocket. And if you have a guy that's a big, girthy guy up front that's a run stopper, all teams will try to do is spread you out and take him off the field essentially because they're throwing a football. So I think that's where you kind of have to figure out how much value you're going to put on a guy that's essentially a 1 or 2 down player.
One trick pony.
So but although both are excellent, like it is impossible to move Shelvin off the spot. And McNeil, he's a good one gap penetrator. So I could see more McNeil than Shelvin in that regard. But it'll be hard for me if you're looking for straight pressure guys, those two wouldn't be the two best options.
Okay. What do you think about Marvin Wilson?
I think he's more of a rotational guy. I just think that he's more of a depth guy. You could probably get in the 4th round and throw him in a rotation and just keep that defensive line fresh. I don't think he's an impact type player that you would take earlier, in my opinion.
Okay. That's why I was looking at him to slide 3rd or 4th round, even with a Shelvin. I agree with you that I would never take a Shelvin in the 1st or 2nd round because he's more of a one trick pony. He's a guy that, just like you said, he's only a 2-down guy and he doesn't really offer pressure. But if you can get a big guy like that and then still get a Ozarike or maybe a Nixon because you are drafting high, I would feel better about that because, one, you have a guy that can stop the run, and then you have a guy that's behind him that can play versatile positions, a 3 and a 1, and you can slide those guys down the line. Now, we already talked about cornerback. We talked about the middle. Let me hit a couple other positions before I let you go. Linebacker, we see Jalen Smith. We quote-unquote regress. LVE is injury prone. They don't know about Sean Lee. They didn't get any guys in free agency. They got pretty much undrafted guys in the background. Is there a linebacker that you like that you can see with the Cowboys that can make a difference?
There's a ton, man. Listen, and the fact they love those athletic guys, they got range. This is a good draft, in my opinion, for them to have their picks and chooses at that spot. You look
Mhm.
at someone like Chaz Surratt out of North Carolina, Garrett Wallow out of TCU, who was excellent, who was a former safety, turned inside backer and just made all the tackles for TCU and impactful tackles as well. Has good instincts. Derek Barnes, to me, is like Lance Briggs. And so you can have someone that's an impactful player that's aggressive in all directions, good eye for the game, has good football IQ and awareness. So I believe this is a good spot for them. I didn't mention Michael Parsons because he wouldn't be there in the second round, where the Cowboys probably can go corner and then linebacker, because I believe Parsons will be in play within the top 15. But Parsons would be good if they decide to go with him instead of going cornerback. But if they're going corner first and then in the second round looking for a different defensive position to have an impact, I would say linebacker is definitely where they can have some success, especially either second or third round. Because let's say they go offensive tackle
Mhm.
or offensive line in the first round with that 10th pick, based on how the draft board will probably go. You have a premier lineman sitting there at 10, as well as a premier corner. They could probably push off linebacker until the second or third round and take someone that's going to be a really good player.
Yeah. Okay. Xavier Collins, do you like him?
Yeah, big fan of Xavier Collins because I like what he does from a versatility standpoint. He's not a pass rusher, even though people look at his size and think he's an edge rusher. No, he's just an outside linebacker or an inside linebacker. He can play all across the second level. Great instincts, good athleticism, can match up versus tight ends and backs. Turns the ball over. So I just think Collins is a really good football player. I don't care what the tests say. I don't care all the metrics or whatever the advanced analytics, that people will throw at him about his game. I just like the football player in Xavier Collins. So yeah, absolutely. He's someone that I can also see going, higher than people think in the first round.
Okay. Well, let me get you out of here. I got one last question for you. Really appreciate you stopping by, doing this quick interview with me. The back end, the safety position. Who's the safety that you would like before you get out of here that you would like with that could fit the Cowboys and be a good player or a good pick for them?
Well, sticking with the theme of ignoring the testing and the analytics or what have you, just uh, strictly off the tape and football. Richard LeCount out of Georgia, ball skills. And I'm big on ball skills. And because can you score? Can you take the ball away? Those are two of the most important things in football. And LeCount can take the ball away. He ran I think a 4.8 in a
Mhm.
40. And people will
Mhm.
look at that and be like, oh, no, there's no way. But I have to remind people of a guy in Sammy Knight that played with New Orleans Saints in the mid to late 90s and early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. He ran a 5 flat coming out of USC, and people was like, "Oh wow, this guy is super slow. There's no way he can handle NFL athleticism." I think he went the 7th round or went undrafted, but he ended up on the Saints and was a Pro Bowl player, All Pro player, constantly leading the team in interceptions. Why? Because it's football IQ. So your instincts and your IQ is directly tied to your anticipation, and so if you're able to know what's going on, you get yourself in position to make plays on the ball. And every time I look up and watching a Georgia game, he has the football in his hands and he plays defense. So that's someone I want on my team. That's a safety that I would definitely target if I'm Dallas.
All right. Now, one last question. I like Richie Grant. What do you think about Richie Grant?
He's good. He can match up in the slot. He could, he's athletic. So he can be more of your combo safety. He can play both safety spots, can, match up against tight ends and back. So it all depends on what you want. The good part about it, with the way the game is played nowadays, more guys are going to be needed to play an assortment of roles. So you kind of take the um, positional tag off players.
Mhm.
So you're looking more for defensive backs as opposed to corner, free safety, strong safety, or nickel backer. So the way the game has changed, you want someone back there that can cover and make plays. And Grant is definitely one of those guys.
All right. Well, hey, y'all heard it here first. I mean, Emery showed a little bit of different perspective here, and I like it because everybody's kind of been saying one thing, Emery, and you came a whole left field, and I like that. And like you said, trust the tape. Don't just always go by the measurables or the pro day dude jumping a 41-inch vertical or anything. You got to trust the tape, and that can get you a lot of longer, and football IQ can get you longer than anything else. So I really appreciate you stopping by, Mr. Hunt. If you can give a little, where people can find you, if nobody knows or have heard about you in this feed, I'd like them to be able to know about you before you get off here.
Well, they can follow me on Twitter at FBall Gameplan. Subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/football game plan. And we also have a draft guide out so people can get familiar with the football game plan 2021 draft guide. And I'm going to show you right here. It's just this is it. This is the draft guide. You talk about
That's real.
Yeah, you talk about over 600 prospects graded, over 600 and something pages. So everybody has an individual scouting report. So no matter who I turn to, that's David Nixon. Oh no, that's Alaric Jackson.
I was about to be like, hey, you already put him in the Cowboys, see?
So you can get this amount of write up on every player that I've graded. So again, footballgameplan.com/2021 draft guide. You'll get the PDF form of this, which is full color, but I printed mine out because I needed to be handy. But this is what we do. This is the work we do. Footballgameplan.com/2021 draft guide. Over 600 prospects graded. The reason why I keep emphasizing that, you got about 260 prospects taken in the draft. So that means this is more than double the prospects that are graded, maybe almost triple. And the reason why, because we all know the NFL preseason and training camp is transient rosters. So you're going to see guys get released, get signed, and you're going to be like, well, who the heck is that guy? Well, pretty sure we got you covered here so you can be a better fan, more informed fan on the roster as a whole. That's why you go get the draft guide. Again, footballgameplan.com/2021 draft guide.
Man, that's awesome. I'm definitely going to go check that out, man. That's big, especially with the last statement you just said right there, Emery. But, man, I really appreciate you. I appreciate your grind, man. I listen to your shows. I listen to your commentaries. You're very good at your work, and I just appreciate you taking the time out to talk some Cowboys football with me, and salutes on everything you do.
Man, I appreciate that, man. Keep up the great work. You do great work here, and it's good to see you continue to progress and grow in the field as well.
All right, man. Thank you, and I appreciate that compliment. You have a great day, and hopefully we'll be talking to you soon, Mr. Emery Hunt from Football Game Plan, CBS Sports IQ. Take it easy, sir. All right. All right. Well, I got Mr. Emery Hunt on here. Came in with a great interview, and I don't know. That was really good. He brings that good fire flame. I really want to check out that book more than anything else now, man. Especially what he said on the back end about we cover it all, like players that you never think when they get cut or released and they get practice squads, things of that nature. We have it all covered. So I'm definitely interested in that and definitely want to look at that. And you can always become a better person, better analysis, better fan, whatever. And I definitely want to become better in that. So I really appreciate Emory stopping by and giving us his really good perspective, especially when he talked about the Kyle Pitts. I love what he said about Kyle Pitts and said, I know, I get it. It's hard not to take him, but he would pass on it. And I like to hear that perspective because nobody else is saying no. So you get to see a different perspective from him saying, hey, as tantalizing it is, and you got on one of these really top defensive players on the draft as tantalizing it is, I'm going to pass because I'm going to go continue to build this defense. So we'll actually kind of see how it goes later down the line, but I really appreciate him coming in. Shout out to everybody that was in the building. Daywalker Vaughn, Jerry Pena, shout out to you for the donations as well. The Ninja, my dog, C. Burleson, DJD, Dog 31, the Lunatic, what's up with you? Gambino, T Smooth TV, Jay Lombardi, what's up with you? Of course, Boo Thang. Who else was in here? I didn't get this with Mr. Sadiq with Charles. How you doing? Good to see you again. Thurston Howe the third, what's up with you, big dog? Just had another donation. Appreciate you as well. Patrick Robinson, always bringing the fire interviews. I appreciate you for the $5 holla. And I just want to tell you guys, because I'm going to get off here because I got to get ready to go to work, and my peoples are coming in to fix the ceiling from last time. But I do want to say yesterday, I apologize to my members about not doing the show last night, but as I said before, I just came back home. Shout out to my dog, the Ninja. He was a great host. He took care of me just like my family. I really love you for that, dog. We had a great time up at Mike Fisher's bar, the Maverick, with the OC, Boss Cowboys, Law Nation, DDP. My dog, the Ninja, was with us. We went over to the Waffle House and did a show. I actually got those shows. I'm going to download those for you guys. I actually do have those shows, so I'm going to download those. The Digit jumped in there with his perspective too. So it was a really good time up there, man. Back home, I can't wait to go back home again. I can't wait to just get back home permanently. I'm ready to go back home. But yesterday, I mean, like I said, we drove Sunday. I drove the last 8 hours straight. Got home about 5 in the morning, and then went to work like within the next 3 hours. And I drive like an hour to work, so I drove an hour to work, put in them hours at work, and drove an hour home, and I just couldn't do it. As soon as I tapped that bed, I woke up at 6 in the morning, for real, and I'm still kind of exhausted from it, from all that driving. So I apologize about not having the members meeting yesterday, but we are going to do it tomorrow. The Lunatic, please make sure you're in there. I'm going to send the link out. So if you want to jump in with the link, I like the link because you get live people. And as I said before, you don't have to show your face. You can just come in, just audio if you like. And we just kick it in. We're going to talk about the contest next week, because the giveaway is next Monday. And we'll go over what the giveaways are once again in the membership group. We'll talk about just the draft, and I got a few things I want to talk about with the members, specifically about the YouTube channel. Some things are going on. So and also, I don't know if I can make any more Coach J film days. Just YouTube, man. These people are not. It's not even YouTube. It's just these haters out there are already just starting to start the little goofy stuff. And so now I'm just a little frustrated because I did a lot of work. I paid a lot of money for certain things, and now people are just frustrating. That's all I can tell you. So, you know what I'm saying? We'll see how that thing goes. But please, all my members, please be in that meeting Wednesday night at 10. It's going to be every Monday, but it will be this Wednesday. And we got some things that we need to talk about for us: membership, the draft, things going forward, just a lot of stuff that needs to be talked about. And I need to make sure as many as members are in there as possible, because there's a lot of things we need to talk about. Yes, Daywalker, we had a blast, man. I had a great time. The Ninja, man, we kicked it. We went to the Cheesecake Factory. Me and my girl, him and his girl, we went to the Cheesecake Factory. He took care of us. It was all day, all night with my fam. And then, going to Mike Fisher's bar. And I'm going to keep it real, y'all. I got twisted. And the fact that I love these guys because I got twisted. I got twisted over my cousin's house. And a lot of my cousins were there. So I went hard in the paint. I was twisted, for real. Um, I got back to my cousin's house and I passed out. And my girl was like, "Get up, you got to get and do these shows." So I was like, "Oh man." So she drove me there. I was slumped over in the truck, just gone. You feel me? Boss and them were there. Um, Boss hit me up. I was like, "You there?" I texted me. He's like, "Yeah, I'm here, dog." And Law was there. And when I pulled up, it was so funny because it was cold out there. And we were sitting outside, and it was cold outside. It was cold. It was cold. So we got out there, and as soon as I got there, I was supposed to be there at 8:30. I got there like at 10. And Boss, as soon as I walked, that's why I love Boss. As soon as I walked up there, he's like, "Mother sucker, you lucky." Because I was just about to leave your ass. You know what I'm saying? He had that look like, mother. Yeah, and I saw the Ninja. When I got out, he said, "Damn, you taller than I thought you was." Yeah, I ain't no short motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm the good close to 6'2". I'm tall and lanky. Appreciate you, Miss Charles, for the thanking us for getting back, and I appreciate for the $5 holler. Yeah, I got some height on me, and plus, since I'm kind of lanky, I look even taller. So it was cool because as soon as I got out and met the Ninja, as soon as I got out, he was like, "Damn, you taller than I thought." It was a great time, man. The OC, hey, he's a great person, man, and we're definitely gonna have to do a show with him, man. He's a big dude. I didn't know he played offensive tackle. Just long, man. Great time, man. Just great times. Great time. I had a great time. We're getting ready for the draft. I'll be at the draft next week. Next Thursday, I'll be at the draft live. We're gonna do a live feed, live video, whatever, all that good stuff. And just make sure y'all tune in. Like I said, we got a contest popping next Monday, so make sure y'all tune into that. And after the draft, after I'll be at the draft, then we'll be at training camp. So make sure y'all be ready for that. We'll be at training camp. We're going to be in Honolulu, Hawaii. We're going to do a show out there with Young Wilson. And we're definitely going to be at games this year. And once again, I'm back in cahoots with my guy with the Cowboys experience. And if you were looking forward to going to a game this year, I do have the plug for that. So just get in my inbox or just holler at me. And if you are a member with Big Game James page, you will get discounts on these games even more because you are a member. So membership does have its privileges, and I think it's going to be 100% at these games this year. So if you really want to go to a game, I got the plug, and if you're a member, it's even better for you as far as the cost. So get the memberships up, man, so we can go even harder in the paint. You know, feel me? So love you too, dog. Yeah, OC is a G, man. It was cool. All the guys were mad at me, but you know what? They still showed me love, and they understood I was twisted and messed up. So I really appreciate you guys. But yeah, you want to go to a game this year? Get on, be a member, man. Because the more you become a member, the more privileges you will get, and more things that we can do and open doors for. So that's all I'm saying. And make sure you get into it. So I gotta get off of here because we gotta fix my ceiling. We'll fix the ceiling. I know you was. Uh, but we got to fix the ceiling in here because we did a hood style before we left. I told you the ceiling fell in and we had to do it hood style, but we got the real people to come fix it. So they're outside waiting for me to get off the show. So they're going to fix the ceiling. I'm going to get ready to go to work. And then, you know how it is. Just keep on tuning in, trying to get some more interviews, other people's perspective, and the grind never stops, y'all. The grind never stops. So I love you guys. Let's continue to get these memberships up. I will say this: I get it with memberships. Everybody, money problems, all that good stuff. But let's continue to get these up, man. I want to get more emojis, and I can't get these emojis when the memberships like kind of go up and down. I need these memberships to get on here, and I need these memberships to stay. And I get it. If you're a premium member, I'm gonna keep on going hard. I'm gonna figure out other things that we can make this even better. But when you get that membership, keep it, because if you keep it and don't go away from it, it builds and it allows us to get more emojis. It allows me to do more things. But when it's in and out, it throws off the algorithm of it, and it's not consistent. So I'm definitely not getting on anybody because I appreciate everybody who is a member, because you don't even have to be a membership to the page. So it's not that. So don't take it as that. It's just that when you get it, if you can stay with it and not, you know, miss anything with it, it's just better because it helps the algorithm. It helps me be able to do more things, and it opens up more doors what I can do on YouTube when I see the consistency of the membership staying. So that's just all I'm saying. If you can do that, that would be great, because then we can go harder in the paint what I'm trying to do. So that's just my little two cents with it. We'll still be grinding. You know how we do. Patrick Robinson, yes, I am definitely going to be at training camp. Law's going to be there at the same time. Hopefully, we get some other people out there. We're going to go live shows and feeds all the whole week there. So make sure you be tuning in that, because I'm definitely going to be back at camp in California once again. No joke about that. So I appreciate you guys. Oh yeah, hold on. Let me get you the picture that my dog the ninja got. Where is it at? Oh, here it is right here. They put it right here. This is real. This is true love. You feel me? This is my dog the ninja got me. Y'all see that? That's true love right there, bro. That's dopeness. I grew up on these guys. That's dopeness. Can you see it? That's realness. That's love. Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate everybody that sent me gifts and showed me love in this whole time I've been in this. You just don't get that from everybody. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm forever grateful for everyone that's done anything for the Big Game James page and Silver and Blue Nation. All right. Straight up. Don't take that stuff lightly. All right. But let me get up out of here. I'm a Gotta handle my business, and we will be talking to you soon. So from Big Game James, Silver and Blue Nation, I'm out, and we're gonna be talking to you soon. All right, let's keep the damn thing growing, and let's make it all good. All right. So I love y'all. Take care. Salutes and peace out. Let's ride out to some How About Them Cowboys. My son really killing. I'm riding out to my How About Them Cowboys. So I'm riding out to my How About Them Cowboys. I love it. Where you at, son? There we go. All right, y'all. How about them Cowboys? Let's see what we're going to do. Drafts around the corner. Talk to you soon. Peace.
Did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Big game, first name James. He interviewed, he called the games. Silver blue, you know the name. From the Emmitt Smith to the Michael Irv. We beating skins, shooting birds. I see a Bengal snatch it out his fur. Favorite team on the planet Earth. From Monday night to Sunday church. DJ putting in the work. I'm tuning in, no need to search. Through thick and thin and good and worse. Them Cowboys, click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that silver and blue done did it again. Them Cowboys, click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that silver and blue done did it again.